Matt, you've been holding this in literally and figuratively for like 2 weeks now. Can you tell me a story about poop?
Yes, I've been. We don't have a little segment we can call
Matt's
potty
poop
talk
corner.
or something like that. My wife told me a story about her friend, and I was like, I definitely need to tell this story on the podcast. So I guess to ease it in there, have you guys ever had an awkward interview? Like you interviewed for a job and something happened that was very awkward or something?
Like it was awkward in my head because like nothing extreme, just like, oh man, I shouldn't have said this or I shouldn't have told this story, but nothing like comical.
Okay. Well, this is how the story goes. So her friend had an interview. They had the interview at a restaurant.
Okay.
And the night before, she was very nervous because, most people are before the interview.
Mm-hmm.
So she couldn't sleep. She was just nervous. So her husband was like, hey, maybe you should take some like the Zooquil, kind of like NyQuil, use it to go to sleep or something like that. And she was like, no, I don't want to. So the whole night, she's not sleeping or anything like that. She's just nervous, thinking about the process, think what she should say, stuff like that. So in the morning, she's tired because she couldn't sleep. So she drinks 2 cups of coffee with milk and goes to this interview. She gets to the interview, it's going fine. And then she gets that all too familiar feeling, the rumblings in the stomach.
Bubble guts, if you will.
Yes. So she gets that, and then it gets to the point where, all right, I can hold this in, I can get through it. But then it gets to a point where it's like, no, I gotta go now. I'm about to pause the story real quick. So you're in an interview. Situation happens, you gotta go. What would you say to the interviewer to get out that situation so you can go use the restroom?
I just tell the truth. Like I wouldn't say I got to take a poop, but I'd be like, can you excuse me? I need to use the restroom real quick.
I'll do the same thing. I mean, at the end of the day, like, no sense of lying about having to use the bathroom. That's a natural human thing.
She said, I'm sorry, I gotta go poop. She got up and left.
So does she have Asperger's?
No, she was just like, I gotta go. And she didn't say it nicely. She was like, I gotta go poop.
Mm-hmm.
So she went to the restroom. The restroom was dirty.
Okay.
So she decided, she walked outside and she looked down the street and she saw a different fast food chain.
I feel like we've gone too far now. And not you, I mean her. Like
yes.
the moment you left this building, you lost this job.
So she runs down the street to this restaurant to use the restroom. So she used the restroom. She's good to go. She's like, cool. I feel so much better. Damn, the interview. So she runs back to the place. It was like, the dude is gone. So she asked the people who work there, hey, did you see the guy? Blah, 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 blah. And they're like, no, maybe see if his car's still there. So she runs outside to the car. Ain't nobody there.
Oh, snap.
So she called her husband and was like, because basically he talked to somebody else to get her this interview. So she called her husband, told him, hey, blah, 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 this what happened. He calls the guy and he was like, hey, my wife said she went to the bathroom and when she came back, you were gone. And she was like, she was gone for 55 minutes.
What?
So, yeah. So he was like, okay.
Wait,
so
was she on her phone? She playing a Candy Crush? What's happening
something.
here?
I don't know how long this street. I mean, she said that she's seen the other restaurant. How far did she see this other restaurant where she ran to and everything? So all I have to say is she did not get the job.
I'm very surprised. All right, Matt, you ready to do this, man?
I'm ready to rock and roll, baby.
Today, we discuss how far Michael B. Jordan will go to avenge his family and without remorse. I'm Chad.
And I'm Matt.
And this is episode 6 of our podcast. We used to talk about this at work. All right, so we are 6 episodes in, Matt, and we are shaking up the whole dynamic and the whole premise of this show, huh?
Yes, we are.
Why are we doing that, Matt? What is so different about this episode versus the last 5?
Because this is the first time that we used to talk about work. You wasn't involved.
Right.
It's just me and somebody else I used to work with.
Yeah. Now this is just your slow progression of shutting me out this show, huh?
Hey man, once I seen those numbers and I realized I really don't need you.
Well, with that being said, let us introduce our first guest that we both did not work with, Laurent.
Hey,
Welcome to the show.
good morning. Good morning.
That's it.
It's all right. He's got a little bit of stage fright, This is his
Oh, I
first
didn't know.
podcast. Don't make fun of him. Don't be cruel.
Yeah, I thought I'd just say good morning and then didn't talk.
Don't be shy. We all friends here.
Well, I'm not his friend, but we'll see
One
how
of us are friends here.
we'll see how the hour goes.
So how you been?
Good. Overall, I'm
That's
here.
good. So I guess let's start this off how we start all the guests. So tell the people how we know each other.
Our time back in the military around 2005, 2006-ish. Met you for 3 years out in Sasebo, Japan. Watched you grow as a man.
Are you sure? I don't remember growing as a man during those times. we was wild boys back then, so I don't remember growing.
I feel like that was the most PG thing to say is you grown as a man.
Do you remember the first time we met?
No. All I do know that we worked together for 3 years to start. But when I first met you, I can't tell you. Because when I first came to the ship, you were gone. You were out there running the street somewhere.
Doing my part of to keep up with the military's traditions.
You mean helping fighting the war on terror?
You can call it that. Well, I do play a significant part in Laurent's life.
Yes,
do you want to tell this story?
Now I think I remember. So
right.
I came to the ship, lost, don't know my way around. First day, full day, get off of work, trying to figure out what to do. Go around bays, looking things to get into. Happened to go to the little corner store, happened to see Matt coming out. He had a bunch of beverages and snacks with him. And then I was like, hey man, show me around what I do. And then he pretty much told me, hey, you should talk to this girl. And then I'm out. I got things to do.
I got moves to make, man. I'm not here to play around.
Yeah. So then I proceed to hang out with this girl, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I end up marrying this girl.
Oh, wow. So he set you on a path, huh?
Yeah, he set me on the path, all right.
I don't know why you're saying it like that, man. I get the impression that you're happily married now, got 15 kids living on a farm,
Is that the lifestyle that you living right now?
I can't confirm or deny the amount of kids, but I can say I'm not happily married.
So why are you beating around the bush? Just say you're divorced.
I'm happily divorced.
You're letting it linger too long.
I've been having a bachelor party for the last 9 years.
Hey man, I couldn't predict that. It was happy-ish at the beginning. Yes. I don't know what else after that. I can't live the relationship. I'm just here to set you up, and it's up to do what you do with the ball after that.
So you fumbled the ball.
Yes, I fumbled and I did not recover.
I don't know the circumstances, but I'm on her side just in case she's listening to this,
Just like society. It was
but
nice
looking back on it, it was I can see where I was wrong. Not introducing him to that girl is not only was he new to the ship, we were in the same division. So I should have, taking him under my wing type of thing and showed him how the base is, different stuff, showed him how we lived out in town, because my memory is not good. You know this. So I cannot confirm nor deny this happened. But he tells a story where I used to keep where I lived at a secret from him.
Yes.
Right?
Like in town, or where you lived at on the ship?
No, out in town.
Okay.
Yes. This man would go out of his way to be whispering around about the secrets place, or whatever the term of the day that he used. It was to the point where, in Japan, there's a lot of taxis or train services. People don't really always drive. So whenever I would want to visit him, he would say, give the phone to the taxi driver. He would tell the taxi driver, not tell me. I show up, I don't know how to get back or where I'm at. Hey, but by the time it was time to go home, he'd kick me out.
Hey, isn't it part of your training to like be aware of your surroundings?
I'm in Japan, man.
Right.
I don't remember this happening at all because during that time we was, oh, maybe you're right.
Yes,
Because
secretive.
right, because now I'm thinking about it, because the reason is we weren't supposed to have that place at all.
And they pretty much must have thought I was some type of
Yeah,
narc or
you
snitch or
that's
whatever
probably
the
right,
term
because
of
you
the
was
day
brand
was.
new. We didn't know if you was a snitch or a mark or anything like that. So we didn't know if you, that's right, because we wasn't supposed to have that place at all, because you have to have certain rank, certain blah, 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 in order to live out in town at that time. And we got our place through unsavory people who did the same stuff. So we was trying to keep it under wrap. That's the reason why we didn't tell him.
I'm glad that you feel comfortable enough to share this to the internet, man.
Hey man, we passed that
Statute of
statute of
limitation.
limitation.
It probably changed my whole trajectory.
How so?
Well, I'm just thinking, like, you know, how little things like meeting someone and getting married probably wouldn't have happened. How would things be different?
Oh, you can't live in that alternate reality space, man. That's not a healthy place.
I know, but in this specific situation, no, he would not have gotten married to her if we would have taken him to our place and everything like that. He was not married her.
I get you, but like you are the person that you are now because of all those experiences, bad or good.
True.
Right,
So it's not really a good idea to poke around with that.
right, because he was living that good relationship lifestyle while we had a specific name for our apartment during those time frames. We used to call it Club 301. The apartment number was 301, and it was basically a club, bachelor pad, frat house, all those stuff you see, all
Alleyway.
wrapped up in one.
So it's like a condo.
Yes.
No, it was a small Japanese apartment, 2-bedroom apartment that we converted to 3 bedrooms.
And had like
We
7
used
people
a
in
Tommy
it.
mat room as another bedroom, but it was small. But
It had me fighting for
us.
bubbles.
I was going to bring that up later, but if you want to talk about it now, so it was a place to be. We used to always have people over partying and everything else like that. Then one day, if I can paint the picture, in the living room, you had the couch and you had this little side area where there was a chair futon type of thing where you could lay down, and we called that the bubble.
Yeah, so the bubble was something you got based off of tenure, you could say, or just being close to the owners of the apartment. So it would change, you know, week to week, you know, based on who was able to come because they had to work over the weekend, right? When we were out hanging out, we would realize, hey, I want to stay in the bubble. I don't want to go to the ship or somewhere else before the end of the night. So we got into a brief altercation over this one bubble. And looking back on it, it seemed so trivial and small. Like, why are we so upset? Like, but having that bubble seemed like everything at the time with me and the young gentleman. And that's the story of the bubble.
But little do we know, like the altercation with that gentleman, we're all still cool. We still laugh about that to this day.
Yes.
Yeah, it was some crazy times we used to live.
So what are you getting up to now, Laurent?
Lately I've been trying to do my DJ thing. So right now I'm using my MacBook that I bought for the sole purpose of DJing.
Okay.
So I've been purchasing little packs and also piggybacking that into trying to make music, you know, beats or lo-fi music and getting into that. So since I've invested into this MacBook, I might as well use it, right?
Okay. So answer me this with the whole DJing thing. And I'm asking this question because I don't know. So I don't want to come off offensive or anything like that. But like, aren't you basically just playing songs and then like when the beat drop, you just switching the song?
Whoa, you're gonna have the whole DJ community after you. You just crazy right now.
I'm just trying to ask a question so that I can, be educated.
But you put it at its simplest terms, but you know, to do anything well, it takes more foresight into it, more advanced. But first, that's the first step that you have to learn. Play the song, read the room, change the song, blend it good. That's where you start. That's the basics.
Okay.
So as far as me getting to that, I've been purchased the books. I've been doing my research. Every time I get good with it, I find some other hobby to get into, or I get sidetracked. But I think this year I'm probably going to get back into it a little bit more heavy.
So did you book any gigs or anything previously?
I haven't had gigs recently, but when I first started around 2015, 2016ish, when I was in Yokosuka, Japan, I used to do a couple little bars or whatever for minimal money, just pretty much playing music, changing music, a little name drop here and there, but nothing special. But
Okay.
that's all anybody wanted there.
Okay.
I don't got a big light show or the video monitors, just playing music.
Okay, I see. You're not passing around ecstasy during your performances.
Most definitely not.
Won't you get a big you need a gimmick like the DJ with the rabbit one or the mask, or was it DJ Marshmallow or something? You need a gimmick where you
Oh
wear over your head.
yeah. You
Hmm.
could be I'm sorry to put your business out there, but you could be the black who are those guys that just broke up? The French dudes?
Daft Punk?
Yes.
They broke up.
Okay.
They broke up like 2-3 months ago, I think.
Learning new news, breaking news.
All right. I don't know. Like they've been doing this for like 20 plus years, right? Like if you already can't stand your partner, just stick with it, all right? You've been in
Right.
this game too long.
That's what I tell my wife all the time. I'm like, look, we've been at this too long. Ain't no need to break up now. We got too much invested.
That's how I feel about you and me, Matt. Ever since we started this podcast,
Hey man, there's always a method to my madness.
that's what you've been telling me this whole time. And look where that's gotten us.
Hey, that's got us in on some charts
I mean,
on the podcast.
we in the top 1,000 of the Japanese iTunes. So
Right. So we building our brand. We getting there.
All right. So you said that you bought a MacBook. I take it that you're making some good financial moves.
Yes, not recently though. I've been listening to Facebook and decided I'm gonna be a heavily investor in cryptocurrency.
Okay. The U.S. government likes that.
Yes, they do. So I've sold all my stocks and totally went into crypto. Sometimes I win, sometimes recently lose.
Wait. You sold all? Why'd you sell all your stocks? You couldn't do both?
I could do both, but I was wanting to take I want to say reward myself and change and transition because I thought crypto was a new wave, but
Okay.
apparently it's not all the way there.
Did you invest in something specific in crypto or?
I specifically invested in Dogecoin. I
Oh,
decided to
you were
get in all
supposed
the
to
wrong
get out
time.
before Elon Musk appeared on SNL. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, I didn't get the memo.
Oh,
Man, you should have been like, because I invest in Doge too, but I did it back in February when it was low.
0.0003.
Yeah, so that's when I first got into it. And then when it got up to 40, 50 cents, then it started going down. And I'm like, man, it's only put $20 in it. But I'm like, man, it's going down. And I'm like, I don't want to keep doing losses. So I cashed out and I made $100. But then like 2 days later, it goes back up. And it was like the highest it was like at 70 cents.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, I missed out. But then it went down after the Elon Musk Saturday Night Live stuff. So then I went in and bought some more. So now we about to just ride this wave and see what happens.
So I bought $9 worth in January. And before Elon Musk, mucked everything up, I was up like $115. As it stands right now, I'm up $88. So I'm riding the wave. Whether Doge crashes up and burns, or I'm gonna have enough to buy a Tesla, don't matter. I'm just sitting with it and I'm riding it to the moon, baby. Diamond hands.
That's where I'm at now. But with now since that's become popular, you have all the other meme coins. They got like a Shiba one. They have like all these other ones, and I'm like, it's okay for me to jump on this one, but I'm not gonna jump on every single one that's out there.
I got on Doge around the GameStop AMC BlackBerry whole wave. And so yeah, I'm not gonna tell you how much money I lost on GameStop. But yeah.
Wait, you said lost?
Yeah, I said lost. I was trying to be part of the revolution, but the man got me. Thought I was out here like Bane, but
Yeah, that was a surprise to everyone. And then once you hear stuff, by the time you hear it, it's already too late for you to be jumping in. You should have already jumped in way before.
Right.
A lot of this cryptocurrency, I think a lot of it happened because of the pandemic. Because I was listening to one podcast about investing, and the guy was saying, if you have 2 hours a day to research and do, you can invest. And I always remember that. And I guess with people being at home, then the stimulus checks came out.
All of my investment money is mostly just the money that Uncle Joe gave me. So it's you got to
But
do it sometime.
I
Seems
still
like a
don't
waste of time.
understand why you sold your stocks, man. Those are the pillar, the foundation.
It's
He got no explanation.
I
It
can't
is
say
what it
nothing.
is.
Yeah. Hey, that made me who I am today.
I like that callback there. So as I understand it, you're getting in shape.
Trying to went online to the Japanese store, got me a weight set.
Wait, there's
kettlebell.
a website called the Japanese store.
Okay, Amazon.
Okay.
So I got me a weight set. I got kettlebells. Got my little bike. I be on there trying to get in
Say
shape.
again?
I
Said you got a bike.
Yeah, I got exercise.
Oh, you got a Peloton?
There's an exercise bike in my home gym.
You got
Where'd
a
that come
Peloton?
from?
That came from Matthew because I noticed it was collecting dust.
Mm.
So I was like, you should put this to better use. Like I'll actually use it. So now it's here.
That's not the story. Just don't get on the podcast and start telling fibs. The thing was, well, partial true. Yes, it was collecting dust, but he allowed me to use his gym sometimes. When I'll go up there, that's when I would do it. And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to use his bike at here just by itself and then go up to his gym and use it. So that's when I brought it up there.
So
now, once I brought it up there, I've never used it when I went to his gym.
I mean, if you weren't using it in your house, why would you use it at his house?
Right.
So what kind of you got? You doing free weights? Like what kind of weight situation you got?
Barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells.
And it's funny because the other day he said he just sent me a message saying, why you didn't let me know I got fat? And I was like, the same reason why nobody else let me know I got fat.
That's real rude. You can't just I was gonna say you can't just tell somebody they're fat now, but no, I've been told, hey Chad, you're fat now. I posted a picture on Facebook. I think it was like when we announced that my wife was pregnant and me and her were in the picture, and then people over here texting me or even putting it in the comments, dang, Chad, you put on some of that COVID weight. And I'm like, why do you need to tell me that? I know I'm fat. Why are you telling me this? Stop.
Sometimes you don't know, or maybe sometimes you need that little small bullying, fat shaming to let you know, because you could be living in denial.
If my shirt feels uncomfortable, then I know that I've been gaining weight.
You're not the one that make excuses, but like, man, this shirt must have shrunk in the dry. I thought it was all right.
I know what I'm doing over here. I know what I'm putting in my body.
You know what you're not doing. You're not working out.
Exactly. I know I'm just sitting around eating cake and ice cream and not moving around. I know this about myself. You don't have to tell me about me.
Right, because that's the same thing I said. Because one day I put a shirt on, it was tied around the arm, so I'm like, yeah, this gym has been working out.
You were swole.
Right, and then I tried to button it up, and I'm like, hold on, what's going on here? And then I took a picture of myself, and I was like, whoa, yes. I am fat now. So that's when I was like, all right, I need to start doing more, eating less, and stuff like that. But my brother, he's the type where he'll be like, I ain't gonna say let himself go, but he won't work out or anything. And then he has a mentality like at the drop of a dime, he would turn into not doing nothing for months to I'm going to the gym every single day. I'm changing my diet and doing everything else like that. And he'll drop like mad weight and stuff like that.
Respect it, but that's just like the discipline for that is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know I don't have it. I'm a slow person where, all right, let me try taking carbs out, or I'm not going to eat vegetables, or let me work out twice a week this week, see how that goes. I'm not jumping in head first.
So my weight's been rubber banding, not yo-yoing, I should say. It's not been going down low enough, but I'll get into bouts of intermittent fasting. And
elaborate. What do you mean?
So like I will just eat like 2 meals in a day, and like there's just a huge gap in between each meal.
Oh, okay.
Something that I've been doing since we've been doing this podcast, super unhealthy, as my wife continuously tells me. On Saturday, we eat 1 meal. And when I say we, I mean me.
How is that working out?
Well, I'm really hungry right now, if you must ask. But I don't know. I guess it's kind of working. Like I ate lunch today. I had some leftover barbecue. Yeah, like I know it's not really healthy. My whole thing is like I personally don't know when I actually have time to like work out. Like I know like you can walk around the neighborhood or whatever, but like I used to have like a membership to the YMCA, which is like right by our house. But like now I just don't know when I would actually have the time to go and do something.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same book. That's the reason why I started the home gym. At the same time, I was doing intermediate fasting. I still do it, but I'm not gonna pretend that I'm extremely disciplined with it.
Okay.
It's more of I eat in the middle of the day, and like after 3 o'clock, I don't eat. It's tough, as you know.
Yes. Yes.
I try to my thing is I try to drink as much water to fill me up, but then that's another problem, and I'm in the bathroom all the time.
Right, but that's good, just getting it all out. But I'm kind of double downing on the health stuff. So my wife's job, they have this health challenge where basically earn points for different things you do. Say you have like a smartwatch or whatever, and you link it up to the program and you do like so much walking within a month, you get so many points. And so they have a thing where you can allow spouses in. And she was kind of dragging her feet to actually let me do it because she was like, you're not actually going to do this because, we've been married for like 8 years. So she knows me. I probably wasn't going to do it. But there's a cash prize involved if you actually hit the bullet points. And so I was
How much
like,
money is this?
For spouses, it's $300.
Okay.
Chad, you better get your ass to walk in.
That's why I kept pushing her to actually let me do this. But she know me, I'd be dragging my feet. But money is different. So I changed for money. But if she asked me, absolutely not. I got some easy points so far. It was like, hey, did you get a COVID shot? Have you gone to your primary care doctor this year? Did you get a flu shot? Stuff like that. But I've been looking into it. So since I have an Apple Watch and all the security, it's not going to be super easy to link my health stuff to this site. But I've been looking into how to do that, and I'm going to sign up. It's like a 10K in a month. So basically, you got to have like 20,000 something steps in a month. And I basically already do that, just walking, living my life, So yeah, I'm definitely about to, get this money. I don't think I'm going to actually get it until like October. I think that's the end of their fiscal year, or September or something like that.
And then once you get it, invest in cryptocurrency.
If cryptocurrency is still a thing at the end of the year, like who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
What is this football thing? When you say football, are you saying that you're playing soccer?
No, I'm talking about American football
in Japan.
But yes, yeah, but I try to do anything as an incentive to stay in shape, so playing sports. But I'm not going to pretend that I'm young enough to be running around doing tackle football. So it's flag football, just a lot more cardio and running. And I got the gloves. It used to be for catching, but now it's just for pulling flags. I get a catch here and there.
I remember I used to play flag football back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And then I used to be a top dude. I appreciate it. I used to be a top guy out there.
Stands.
Yeah. But then
you on TV.
He invited me to one of his games, and they needed a player, and I'm like, cool, time for me to get off come out of retirement on them.
So this is recently, not back in the day?
No, this is recent. This is like 3-4 months ago.
Okay.
So realized I was on my retirement mode. I wasn't, running sprints or anything like that. I hopped right off the couch and I'm about to jump in this game.
No cleats, some Air Forces, I believe.
Right. And I thought I was just gonna come in there and be like Megatron or something like that. Boy, was I wrong.
You thought you were gonna turn into a truck?
He's a football player, Chad.
No, Megatron.
Calvin Johnson.
No, you got Megatron, you got Optimus Prime, and Starscream, Transformers, robots in disguise.
You can see Chad doesn't really do the sports.
I see. I wasn't sure if he was trolling you or turn around. He's like the biggest Lions fan ever.
But yeah, the point was I hopped on there, and then they wanted me to play 2 games back to back. And my old self wasn't ready for that. I was sore for like the next 3-4 days. I can't do it as young me used to do it. Because then like the next week he was like, "You ready to play?" Mm-hmm. One and done, baby. One and done. I was like, "That's it. I got a nice little tackle. I'm gonna ride off on the sunset on that one tackle I had for that game."
I came out of retirement for 1 day and 1 day only.
Yep.
No, they asked about you. Who's that one guy? He just showed up out the stands.
All right, that's all you get. I mean, I might come back and support it I'll be a fan, but I leave it up to the people who work out.
Were these Americans you were playing with?
Yes.
Yes.
So these are Americans living abroad that are like, you know what? We need to bring to Japan. We need to bring our stuff. We're not gonna adapt and play the world sport of soccer.
I mean,
No.
does that sound like the American thing to do? No, we're gonna bring what we do here. You better accept it and love it, or
and
leave
you better
it,
speak
as they
English
say.
while you're doing it.
Yes,
Right.
you better speak English.
Absolutely terrible. But speaking of terrible, can you tell me about something you've seen lately, Matt?
Man, oh man. So,
Now, I want to make a point of I've not seen what you're about to talk about, but I've heard that it's not good.
all right, let me give you a small backstory. I first found out about the African samurai Yasuke a year ago, year and a half ago. And I thought it was a cool story. And I thought that people should make a movie or something about it, TV show. And then I found out there was talks of either Michael B. Jordan or Chadwick Boseman star in it. And I was like, dang, I missed opportunity. I could have, wrote this idea.
So this is a live action adaptation?
Yes.
Okay.
So then Netflix come out with their anime version of Yasuke. And I'm like, cool. This is what I've been waiting for.
How many episodes is this?
Like 8 or 10. It's not a lot.
8 or 10. 10 is a lot. 8 is
Really?
a lot.
Oh, you're not used to Japanese anime.
Yeah. I'm used to TV. If you say it's not a lot, at most 4.
What TV show only has 4 episodes?
There's some stuff on Netflix with 4 episodes. Not a lot.
Series.
Yeah.
Well, I'm used to Japanese anime, and when you getting 23 episode season and stuff like that, so to me it wasn't a lot. But the point is, it starts off good. Explains being a slave, doing things, being brought to Japan, the king liking him, and become basically part of his team, which is all true based in the history of it.
Okay, actually, roll back a little bit more. Like, explain more of this to me, because I know nothing about Yasuke. So he was an American slave. So he was African. That was he a slave in America, or where was he a slave at?
He was a slave. He was a slave in either British somewhere over there, and somehow he I don't know, somehow where he was captives were in Japan met. I don't know the details as far as that. But then once the Japanese emperor met him, he liked him. He took a real liking to him because he was like 6'6", 6'7". He was very tall for that time.
Mm-hmm. So he'd be a good hooper.
Right. And then the Japanese emperor took a very liking to him. So I don't know the details if, he bought him or whatever at that time. But basically, he became friends with him, and he took him all on his thing, taught him the Japanese culture, the ways. He became a samurai. That is the real life story.
Okay, and the show is 6 episodes, by the way, so that's not a lot.
Oh, okay, yeah. So don't worry, they wasted those 6 episodes.
So were the 6 episodes about what you just said to me? Said to us? I'm sorry.
They gave you a very quick version of it.
So that's like episode 1?
No, they kind of do the thing where let's bounce through time. Let me show you what's going on now. Then part C, let me go back to the beginning type of thing.
Okay.
But it starts off good, but then it jumps a shark where, things just gonna be samurai stuff, fighting. Then they go into this whole mystical thing with powers, and a woman can turn into a wolf. It just jumps the shark where it's like, what are you doing? So they took this good samurai story, started off good, and then transitioned into this weird magic Harry Potter. I was just like, I'm like, what are you fucking doing? So like, of course, I'm already started, so I'm like, let me see how this plays out. But honestly, those last 2 episodes, I've only finished it because I started it, and I was like, they ruined a perfectly good story. And also the actor who voiced him, Lakeith
Stanfield.
Yeah. Now I thought like when I first heard it, I was like, all right, this might be a thing. And I first heard his voice, I'm like, all right, maybe it's something I got to get used to. And
was he putting on an accent or just using his regular voice?
Using his regular voice.
So that whole sleepy, tired, uninterested voice that he normally has?
Yes.
And he's supposed to be African?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So they basically they ruined this story, and I don't know why they decided to do this.
To do
So
the
just
story or do what?
add that magic shit in there. Why? You had a perfectly good story with him being a samurai, the conflicts and everything else like that, and then you throw this.
Matt, they gotta plus it up
Why?
with the magic. They gotta keep the audience engaged with the magic, man.
Nope, because after this, I took to the message boards and I was like, I can't get on a film like this. And a lot of people was like, they said the same thing. Why would you add this unnecessary twist, not twist, but I guess it's part of the plot, unnecessary plot to this when you already had a perfect plot?
Matt, they just added a little seasoning to the story, man.
Because now that seasoning is like you added raisins to potato salad. Sure, you added it, but nobody liked it. Nobody asked for it.
I mean, I'm sure somebody out there was like, "Oh man, I'm eating this show up." Someone
But if
out
you
there
like
liked
raisins
it.
in your potato salad, that's not the audience for me. That's not the friends I want to be with. So my friends don't like raisins in their potato salad, and my friends don't like that magic shit in this TV show. So I was just very
So that's the main complaint about the show, the magic.
no the magic number one. Two, Lakeith's voice. They should have got a different person to do it.
Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, with Lakeith, it seems like he has like some sort of Netflix contract because he's in like every fourth Netflix movie.
Yeah, because I watched him. Speaking of him, I watched him the other day.
In a Netflix movie.
The Photograph with
Yeah, Issa Rae.
yeah, I like Issa Rae. I like anything she's in.
Anything?
So far, I haven't seen anything that I did not like that she was in.
Did you see that movie she was in with they accidentally run over the biker and he gets like murdered by somebody that says he's a cop? Is it it was
This is news
supposed
to me.
it was supposed to come to Netflix. Sorry, it's supposed to come to theaters before COVID, but then Netflix bought it, so they released it like last summer. Laurent, you're not about to help me out, man?
Oh, I've never heard of it.
The Lovebirds.
Oh yeah, I've never heard of that.
That name sounds familiar.
With
I know I ain't watched
come
it.
on, come on, Nanjani.
Oh, Harold and Kumar guy, right?
No. That's not, that is not him. Racist, man. Racist.
My bad. I apologize.
Did you ever see Silicon Valley?
No.
Let me see. He's about to be in a Marvel movie. He got like real buff for a Marvel
Oh, the
movie.
guy who plays in
Lovebirds.
the convenience store one, right? No, that's not
No,
not the
that's
convenience store.
he had the movie about his life.
Yeah, Big Sick.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, the Lovebirds. Okay, I'm looking at it.
Have you seen it?
No, I'm not a big romantic comedy guy.
That's fair. So I watched it with my wife, and she is not a romantic comedy person either. I just like movies. And so like I just thought it was really novel that the movie was supposed to come out in the theater, but we got it on Netflix. So we watched it, and honestly, the whole beginning part where the two of them are just in a relationship, if the movie was just them being it, okay, let's back up. It's not a rom-com. It's like it's a crime comedy because they're on the run during the whole movie.
Okay, I might like that.
But like my whole thing is like, if the movie was a rom-com between the two of them, I think it would have been pretty good because like the beginning when they're in a relationship and it's slowly going on the decline, that was really interesting and funny. But the moment like the plot actually kicks in, which is really stupid, the movie just gets stupid and not fun stupid, in my opinion.
So watch the first half.
Watch the first 10 minutes and don't watch anymore because it gets stupid until the end. So with all that being said, let's hit our review. This week we're talking about Without Remorse.
CIA doesn't support any further investigation into your wife's murder.
They had no right to take so much from me. They brought that war in my house. They're gonna play by my rules now. No remorse.
An elite Navy SEAL goes on a path to avenge his wife's murder, only to find himself inside a larger conspiracy. So what'd you guys think of Michael B. Jordan Without Remorse?
I enjoyed it. I didn't think it would be as good being the type of movie with all these straight to TV movies. But it surprised me that they were able to get an actor like Michael B. Jordan. It made me want to delve deep into Tom Clancy's world and see all the different characters.
You want to read all 12,000 books he's written?
No. but it does make me want to look into the universe a little bit more about the different characters. Because for the longest, people have been telling me to watch more of the movies, and some of the movies I didn't even know when I went down the wormhole, like Clear and Present Danger and Hunt for Red October. Didn't know, so it makes me want to put it all together, and I think later watch some more of the movies.
Okay.
But I enjoyed it.
Matt, how you feeling about the movie?
My biggest take was, why was Laura London in it?
A paycheck.
Just because she's Lauren London.
Right, but I
she
mean,
got to
that's
eat too.
well, thinking of Laura London, I thought she would have had a more significant role in it, but then when she wasn't, I just thought, I want to assume you paid Laura London some good money where you could have put a lesser known person in there for that safe spot.
But like honestly, when's the last time you actually saw her working? So
ATL.
And how long ago was that?
Right.
That's not like she had this huge discography of movies that you could just look up and watch. That was 15 years ago.
Like I like Lauren London myself, but I feel like because Michael B. Jordan was a producer on this movie, and so I feel like this was a situation. Maybe she didn't have to audition, and maybe he's friends with her, or maybe he's a fan of her, and he's like, "Hey, come to wherever we film this at. It's like 3 days of work. You'll get a check, and we'll just hang out." I feel like it was one of those situations.
Wow, you're right. She hasn't been in nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, she's been in stuff that people will know is ATL, Next Day Air, Medea's Big Family.
Oh God, what year was Medea's Big Family?
2011.
Jesus, 10 years ago.
Wow, yeah, and then now this. All right, so maybe they didn't pay her a lot there.
That's probably why they chose her for the low.
But you say you like this movie, Matt?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I like how they led into it to where it could be a more movie type of thing, a Bourne franchise type of stuff. One thing I kept paying attention to was whenever there's anything military related, I like to pay close attention to make sure, they have the insignia right, the ranks right, the uniforms and stuff like that. So everything looked on par for me. The lieutenant commander, the black woman, I didn't care for her. She acted like Lakeith Stanfield talks, if that makes sense.
But she's British, so she's also fighting that accent.
Oh, well, I didn't care for her. I feel they could have got somebody else, somebody with more emotion in the face and stuff like that. But overall, I thought it was pretty good because I did think that it was the CIA guy that was behind it. I was pleasantly surprised to realize he wasn't part of the bad team.
So okay. So I guess it's 2 against 1 because I didn't like this movie.
And why is that?
You remember a few weeks ago when I said that we saw a movie that our mothers would absolutely love?
Mm-hmm.
This feels like a dad movie where it's like on paper, if you told me the plot of this movie, I'd be like, okay. You told me the cast of this movie, I'd be like, okay. We got some action, okay. But you put all of it together and it just doesn't feel right. I'm watching this movie and I'm like, these action scenes are pretty cool. The story is cool, but the direction in which these actors were given to engage with one another, it felt off. Like it felt like you got a director that knows action but doesn't know how to direct people. And I know everybody in this movie can act, but every time they had to talk to each other, it just fell flat to me. I don't really care for characters that we want to make overpowered, like just perfect. When Michael B. Jordan and Lauren London were at the preacher's house for that party, and he all over her like, yeah, I'm Michael B. Jordan, I'm cool and shit. And he walks over to like the chess game, and he's like, yeah, let me make this move for you, kid. That's checkmate right there, because I'm Michael B. Jordan, I'm perfect. You over here setting cars on fire and jumping into them and shit for no fucking reason.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was like, what is going on? I was like, that part didn't make sense to me. Well, I was like, why would you do that?
He was just doing too much. Or like the whole sequence where they're trying to transport him from prison, but he thinks they're about to kill him. And if you're not going to actually have it where the Russians are trying to kill him in prison, we don't need this scene. Are you mentioning that you're in a Russian prison?
They're just trying to show how strong he was.
What was the water for, though?
Right. To make the environment slippery. He knew it was.
But and I watched that because I rewinded it. Nobody fell.
Right.
So, like,
Right.
I understood the shirt and the hand, protect the hand type of thing, but the water
But
made no
no,
sense to me.
that part was just so that he could show his abs and muscles.
Yes.
Right,
That's
right.
what it was.
But yeah, the water, him filling up the sink, the flood made no sense to me.
I don't know. Like, I appreciate how you guys like, yeah, I like this movie. And then I start, and I put a little blood in the water. And you're like, you know what? That was stupid.
But I
You
take
can
it for
still
what
like
it
it
is.
when it's stupid.
Action movies are like that, though. You gotta like pretend like you don't have sense and kind of, go against logic sometimes.
Did you feel like that when you saw Taken?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you mean?
The
Yeah.
first Taken? Where you
didn't
over
feel,
question?
you didn't feel like that where the whole speech where I have a particular set of skills and
He
all that
did
stuff.
though.
But I'm saying, are you going to give a monologue to the villain about this whole stuff? You would just do it.
If the villain would have hung up earlier, he wouldn't have heard that shit. He had to hear. He wanted to hear what Liam Neeson had to say.
But see, now you suspending your disbelief because you're
Yeah.
used to this type of stuff.
And I couldn't do it on this movie because it was dumb. And it's like movies. We get it. If you just insinuate that somebody is dirty, by the end of the movie, they're not going to be dirty. That's how this works.
Right.
And the person that's all like, oh man, I want to help you. I'm trying to do all these things so I can help you. That's the fucking villain. Can we shake this shit up? No.
Yep.
No, we can't. We can't. Oh, okay. Okay.
They got the playbook, and this is how movies are supposed to work.
Dumb. And did you guys stay for the mid-credit scene? I told you about it, Matt, but I know you're gonna say you forgot. I told you.
I didn't.
I forgot you told me.
Yeah, I know. So I found this absolutely hilarious. I just couldn't stop laughing. So it cuts away like 1 year later, and Michael B. Jordan is looking at the Washington Monument. CIA dude, he comes over. Michael B. Jordan like, yeah. So I've been thinking while I was away. We need to create a task force so that this won't happen again. What happened to me? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get agents from different agencies around the world. So we're gonna get some MI6 over here, some Mossad and all this stuff, and we're gonna call it Rainbow. Don't ask me why it's called Rainbow. And then it cuts away, and I'm like,
wait, did he really say?
Rainbow
Don't ask me why it's
Six.
called Rainbow.
He just explained it. All the different people.
he's like, I like that name. And I'm like, okay, so this scene is absolutely hilarious. I am a huge fan of Rainbow Six. So yes, make that happen. But this scene is stupid. Also, I was very disappointed because are you guys familiar with the Jack Ryan franchise?
I know of it.
I know of it also.
So like Clear and Present Danger and all that stuff. That's Jack Ryan. Amazon just did a TV show with John Krasinski, which it just had its second season.
Mhm.
So I was thinking that John Krasinski was going to show up in the mid-credit scene to like truly establish that this is a universe, because the officer lady, the politician guy, referenced her uncle, and her uncle is Wendell Pierce on John Krasinski's Jack Ryan show.
I didn't know that they had this whole universe where all this stuff is connected.
Man, it's 2021. If you don't have a shared universe, you're not doing it right, okay? You know what I mean? You got Marvel, you got DC, and now you're about to have the Jack Ryan Rainbow Six universe. The Tom Clancy verse.
Yeah, I didn't know. I'm going to do some research. Yeah, because I mean, I'm all for people to have their own little universe where things
Connect.
Different things come together in a certain way. I'm all for it, and I just got to do some research on this Tom Clancy world.
Like, I'm not against it either. Like, I would love it if Michael B. Jordan's character popped up on like an episode or two of John Krasinski's Jack Ryan and they do a mission together. Like, I would love that. It's just, I didn't like this movie that much. Also, like, if you in the house, well, first off, who's listening to music on their laptop? You don't have a cell phone, sir?
That's what I was thinking too.
Right.
They threw that in there just to say, hey, the power's off. See, this is why.
But no, that don't make sense because it's a laptop. And like, you over here doing all this stuff, you're not keeping an eye on the battery. Like, every time I'm on my laptop and like it's not connected, I'm like, oh, make sure that battery looking right. I don't want my shit to go off.
And the weird part about that too, now think about it, the charger was right next to it, because sometimes I understand if it's far away,
right?
But imagine you sitting right next to your charger where your charger could be plugged in and it just unplugged. Why would you do that?
Right.
Actually, that would have made more sense now. Think about it. Oh no, never mind.
No, because it would have still had the juice.
Yeah, he still would have.
Like, if he was listening to it, like, oh, this is an Amazon movie. So if he had his Bluetooth headphones connected to his Amazon Echo Dot, And then like the Echo Dot stopped playing the music because it's connected to power. Then he
Right.
gets up and investigates.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Something like that would have been better, where he was listening, all of a sudden the music cut off, then he did it.
Right.
Because then it goes to the predictability. Of course, his laptop was about to die when he does this. So it should have been something where once they cut the power, or something less, a clock goes off or something like that, to where, all right, is the power off? Something like that.
Right.
And also, I guess I'm not a killer. So when the power goes off and I'm thinking, why is the power off? My first instinct is to go get my gun.
Go get your guns.
See, that's why
they coming to get me.
That's why they didn't give you that SEAL training, man.
Exactly. Because I would have been like, maybe there was a storm outside. You should hit something. My first thing is, somebody's coming after me.
I feel like their plan was sloppy anyway. The way that they got the other two dudes that they killed, like, no, I'm not saying it's smooth, but it's like they got them like out in the open. You're gonna go inside this man's house?
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. Or maybe it was a time thing where they happened to be out during that time. Like, we got to get this all done tonight. So they just went for one. They found
An
each one.
express job.
But it was,
Yeah.
I got the impression it was different teams because they were in like somebody was in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. So I remember the van on the first two killings were the same. I guess they could have, they make more than one gray van. So
Right.
that could be it.
I just got the impression it was different teams like hitting the different guys.
I mean, it could be.
I don't know.
But I guess I didn't, I'm so used to when you watch a movie and there's like plot holes or something where that's like absurd, you kind of just go with it.
What's our final rankings? Are we about to dust off our new ranking system, or we need to work on it a little bit more? All right, so we have a ranking system, listeners. We're trying to make it work theme. This isn't the final product, but 1 to 5 scale, 1 being bad, 5 meaning good. So if we were to rate this a 1, we say we give it a pink slip. We're firing this movie. This is if we're giving it its evaluation. If this is a 2, it's on probation. Like, you're not fired, like you're not terrible, but you aren't that good. If you get a 3, that is a meets expectations. Like, you're just right in the middle. You're not messing up too much. A 4 is you get a raise, and a 5 is a promotion. So if I were to give this movie its annual review, I would give it a meets expectations. It's not good. It's not great. It's right in the middle.
I agree. That's what I was going with. I mean, it did its job. Not great. You did the bare minimum. You did what I asked you to do. No more, no less. So
Right.
you get meets expectations.
I would have liked more from you, but you're fine. Make your
Yes.
sequel. Laurent, what are
Yes.
you thinking, sir?
I think I'll give it a 4.
So you would give it a pay raise? It's doing that well?
I think it needs a little bit more money. Bills getting up. COVID, people losing their job. I think it needs to be properly compensated.
You are too nice of a supervisor, man.
Yes, I think it's barely a 4. I mean, yes, I see some of the holes in it, but I took it what it's worth as an action movie. I'm personally more of a drama suspense guy, but I had to change my mentality for it, and I took it like it's an action movie. It's going to be kind of silly sometimes, but I enjoyed it.
So, what do you guys think this movie got on Rotten Tomatoes?
80.
Probably gave it like a 49 or something.
Oh,
You go to 1 to 100, right?
yeah, out of 100. So this got a 46,
Figured the Michael B. Jordan stands would have done more.
but it's not a good movie, man.
That's very low.
The
It's very
audience
low.
score is 41, which is lower than the critics, which is not great. This is with over 1,000 ratings.
Wow.
I would expected the people to like it more than the
No,
critics.
we all knew that this was trash. Y'all just being too nice. Y'all was like, I was in the Navy too. Yeah, y'all
Yeah,
got
the
those
Navy
rose-colored
part got me.
glasses. Yeah.
Maybe that was it. Maybe it was a nostalgia for me when they were saying senior chief and stuff. And I was like, those are words I know.
Okay, so as you guys know, I shake up the trivia every week. For the YouTube people, you guys can see this, but I'm going to do my best to describe this if you're just listening. So what I have here is 3 actors, and I want you guys to name the actor that has not played John Kelly or John Clark. Got 3 options. The first one is Willem Dafoe, the second one is Gary Sinise, and the third one is Lee F. Schreiber. Now, the reason that this is visual is because not a lot of people like know actors by their names. So I want you guys to be able to see this so you can make your selection. So which one of the 3 actors that I just listed do you not believe has played John Kelly?
I'm gonna go with Liev Schreiber.
I'm gonna go with William Dafoe.
That's very funny. You're both wrong. So let me break this down for you guys. All right. So it says John Kelly or John Clark has been played in other Tom Clancy movies by Willem Dafoe in Clear and Present Danger, 1994, and Liev Schreiber in The Sum of All Fears in 2002. Now, the thing with Gary Sinise is that they were trying to get a John Kelly movie off the ground in 2012. And they were looking at him to play the character, but that movie never materialized.
Is he like the version of, I guess, like James Bond or Batman, where after so many stuff, they just get a new person to play it?
Talking about John Kelly, or are you talking about Jack Ryan?
John Kelly.
He's like an ancillary character. Like he'll just come in for the assist. So he's not really that important. So yeah, they were like, okay, whatever. We'll just cast whoever. But Jack Ryan, sort of. I didn't do the research in the exact order of this, but I believe Alec Baldwin has played him once, Harrison Ford twice, Ben Affleck once, and then Chris Pine one. And then now we have John Krasinski on the TV show. 2 more bits of trivia for you. In the book version, John Clark is ranked Chief Petty Officer E7 in the U.S. Navy. In this film, he is ranked a Senior Chief Petty Officer E8, which is 1 rank higher than the former. Is all of that accurate from you all's naval experience?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And the last bit of trivia I have, which I found absolutely hilarious, is actually a goof. It says, when John Kelly is at a housewarming party, he makes a chess move for one of the 2 people playing in the living room. The player has already taken a turn and was waiting for the opponent, making the move void.
He played out a turn.
All right. We're just trying to be all perfect. Like, yeah, I got you. Not even that little boy's turn. So also I have a question. So like, are officers out here doing ops with enlisted dudes?
Yeah.
Like what they were doing.
They're SEALs though, so that's different. I don't know how they do their stuff.
Like she over here got a whole post in like DC, and she out here just in the thick of it.
SEALs are different.
Yeah. I mean, if this was, I guess, regular, no. I mean, you have one. Usually there's one with you. When enlisted stuff, whenever you're out doing something, you usually have one officer with the enlisted. So that could be true.
Okay. Wow.
But she was, I still agree, she wasn't. We could have, no bueno. We could have got somebody else.
We could have found another British black woman.
Mm-hmm.
No, I still blame the director on this because she was queen of Queen and Slim.
Yep, she was good.
So she can act.
She was what?
Queen and Slim. You seen that?
Really?
She can
hold on.
That's what I'm saying. These actors can act. That director does not know how to direct people.
Wow.
Yeah, that's her. So
while Matt's mind continues to be blown, Laurent, do you have anything you'd like to plug before we get out of here?
Just simple. My Instagram, LDOTGREN, L.Green. Follow me there.
Okay, I will put that in the show notes. Well, thank you so much for listening. Please rate and review our podcast on the various places one listens to podcasts. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusedtotalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, We Used to Talk About This at Work, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at We Used to Talk Pod. So this was fun. I hope to see you again.
Same. I enjoyed myself.
Matt, you got any closing words?
You're right. So I do blame the director because she was acting her ass off at Queen and Slim. So I don't know what happened in this movie. So I like to apologize to her for the words I said earlier. He probably told you wrong. So I like to publicly apologize that I didn't know that was the same person. And I seen Queen and Slim and she was acting. This one, I guess everybody had their off days, or maybe she heard wrong. So I would give this, I'll give her yeah, I was really blown by that.
So since you are a guy that does promotion, Matt, will you send that clip to her on social media so she knows what's what?
I'll let her know that this movie did not put her in the best light, but I'm still behind her.
I mean, why you think it got so low on Rotten Tomatoes? People knew.
Right.
Why they do her like that?
I'm sure she got paid well though.
Well,
And then I was thinking about a new catchphrase towards the end. I was
Mhm.
watching Rick and Morty, so
Okay,
maybe at
here
the
we
end of
go.
and at the end I can say
This is already the end.
right before we go, and that's what I can say. And away the news go.
Yeah, we out.